people changing the way that the stories are passed down to the generation. Among our Dene, we have a lot of stories in that about coyote and the other animals that we talk about in some of the winter stories. But it is always necessary for us to understand that these stories are told about these animals, and they actually compare the Dene, individual Dene, to that particular creature that is being told of in the story. So the story about coyote, for example, is don't be like coyote. Don't do things like coyote. For the longest time among our people, the Dene, the worst thing you could possibly call anyone was mai. If you got angry with someone or you got upset with someone, you would say mai, and that's what you would call them. That was the worst thing that you could call someone. Now, when we share information with you on our page here, we want to only focus on the teachings of Dene. We don't share information about what is with the Apache or the Hopi or the Lakota or any of the other Native American people on this continent. They have their own stories. They have their own traditional ways. But some of the things that we observe as traditional Navajo teachers and that is that so many of the teachings of our people are being perverted by the younger generation. And they make this teachings that are there still, they kind of modify it in a way that the true spirit of what is in that teaching is lost. We don't want to do that. We don't want to have people changing the way that the stories are passed down to the generation. And this is a problem that happens when it has to be oral. And that's why when I was learning these traditional teachings, I learned it not from one, or not from two, not from three, but from many different people. Whenever they would share a story, there was something that they shared a little bit more on than somebody else when they shared their story. So it was that I tried to keep a continual thread of truth in all of the different ways that I have heard the stories. And I'm very glad that I was able to listen and to gather the information in that was being shared by the old people. And so it was not just what I heard from grandfather or grandmother, it was from the many different sources in that. Even today, I'll go out on the reservation and I'll find people. I'll look for them and locate them and ask them, specific questions about some of the things I know that they should know about. And I'm really grateful that they have taken the time to recall and to even write it down in some cases, the information in the correct way that was given to them by a number of different people. So when they can concur the information that we share with you, we're very confident here at the Navajo Traditional Teachings that what we share with you is based on the greatest amount of people that have heard the truth and maintained the truth and preserved the truth. And so there's no mysticism and there's no misleading type of information that is what we share with people. It's all based on the correct way that it should be shared. And one of the things, just to kind of close out this portion, is to let people know that the Dene say that we were brought from the east by the holy people. And when the holy people brought the Dene here to this part of the continent, they left. And they said, we are going back in that direction. When we return one day to be with you, we will come from that direction. And that is the direction east. And so that's where the Dene came from. So if you hear stories about the Dene coming from some other place, That is not right. All of our old people say that we came from the direction east. That's why the Taritin is used in that direction. That's why all of our structures are open in that direction. Everything we do is into that direction. The direction east is the first and greatest and most important direction, because we are told that is the direction that we came from, and we're placed here where we call the Nebuchadnezzar, the Netcha, among the Dene is here. And those are the things that we are told.